All right, good morning, my students. Thanks very much for coming earlier. Can you hear me clearly? Thank you, thank you. All right, just one more online class, and I will see you in the classroom. Really, we can stop the we can stop the online class from next week, hopefully. Just very quick talking before we start the class. I just want to know whether or not my student enjoy the online class or you prefer the normal class. What kind of class do you like? The normal class or the online class? The offline. You prefer the off, yeah, you like the normal class. Hmm. Some student told me that for the offline class, if we can record the lecture and after that post somewhere so that the student can review the lecture when they need. I think that's a good idea, but if we do so, there are many students will not come to the class and they will review the lecture later. It looks like an online class. All right, good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to my class. Hopefully you have a nice day today. So our class will start around 8:15. Feel free to do something unique until 8:15, like to prepare some breakfast or something for you to drink during the class. I promise today you will not to stay until the last minutes and you can go a little bit earlier. Okay? Welcome, welcome. All right, good morning, my student. The class is going to start at 8:15. So be ready. Okay, let's start our class today. The second online class, and hopefully we will have a normal class for the next week. So what we will go through today for the second online class, and also the third class from the beginning until now as well. Let's see, today is all right, Tuesday, March the 2nd. Can you see the screen and hear me clearly? Say something or type in the chat box so that I can know that everything is good. All right, everything is good. Thank you, my student. Okay, what we go through today is let's see, a very quick review of what we already went through last time. With review, and then we go to the key point of today's class is is the personality. Okay, is personality, and after that we need to go through a review in form of multiple choices questions so that you can prepare for your in-class quiz and also to prepare for the midterm exam as well. So that is the review. Okay, just give me a few minutes.
Nó chứ đang đi.
All right, I'm back. There's some problem with the internet connection. Can you hear me clearly right now? Okay, good. Thank you. And in the review section at the last at the last part of the class, we will go through the two sets of questions. We will go through two sets of questions. First is for the functions of management and organizations that we already reviewed and went through last time. And second is the set of questions that you can review and prepare for the parts of personality that we will go through today. All right. So now we go to today. We only have one thing is the quick review of what we have learned. And then we go through the personality lecture, and finally practice on some multiple choices questions that you will see again, maybe on the quiz or in the final, sorry, in the midterm exam. Okay. Now, for a quick review first, quick review. All right. What we have went through last time, including the functions of organizations and functions of management. Is that correct? Functions of management. That answer the questions. What managers really do in their job at the working place. And as we have learned, a manager needs to fulfill four functions when they work. First one, they need to set the goals, and they need to determine the way that their teams and themselves will achieve the goals. And some goals and the way to achieve the goals are the two keywords when we talk about the first function of manager. That is planning. And then as a manager, or you need to determine who will do what, who will do first, who will do later, who will have what resources to do. And you also need to arrange the orders and the priorities. So the second function that a manager needs to fulfill is organizing. And at the same time, a manager needs to ensure that his or her subordinates will work with a motivation. That means the employees need to work with an attitude that they will love the job or they like to be successful on the job. They will try to do the job, and that kind of attitude will corner the motivation. And motivation is very important to the work performance, so that a manager needs to ensure that his or her employees will work with very high motivation. And that makes the third function of a manager from the leading. Leading is related to encouraging the employees, motivating them, helping them, listening to them, and whatever you do so that you can encourage them to work motivationally, to love the job, to be to attach with the job and encourage them so that they want to be successful on the job. And last thing, you need to check whether or not your employees achieve the goals that you set at the planning function. And then you may need to identify some areas that your employees do not work very effectively and tell them the way that they can improve. And that's kinds of function we say controlling. All right. So that's all about the four basic functions of management. And you will see them again many times in the first review, the practice questions related to the management functions. And these knowledge are very basic for any management student and also for any student who will work with people later. It doesn't matter what major you are. You need to understand and you need to be able to apply the knowledge you learn about management function into the practice. At least for yourself, set the goals, organizing your resources, and set a priorities or order for everything you need to do. You have many things to do at the same time, but only the people who know what needs to be done first and what needs to be done later. Only the people who know that will get the successful. You also need to be able to encourage yourself, motivate yourself, create motivation for yourself to be successful on your life. And finally, always check the progress to see whether or not you get what you want. The four functions of management does not only apply in managing people, but also apply in managing yourself as a student, as a worker, as a single person. Okay. The second key points that we have learned last time is about the functions of an organization. And because we went through this one many times, so that I will go very quickly here. An organization has 4 basic functions. We call the HRM, and then we have marketing. And there's an interesting point is that HRM functions will take care of people inside the organization. We say the employee, whereas the marketing function takes care of people outside the organization. We say the customer and non-customer. Remember, marketing right now is not only responsible for taking customer, but also non-customer. And in many cases, non-customer has much more powerful than customer has to decide whether or not an organization or a company get lost or gets profit. Okay. The third function is related to how an organization manages money, that is finance and accounting. The next function is to create to make the values to sell to the customer. We say let's say operation or production. Also, we have 2 advanced functions. That means some organizations may have those functions and many other organizations don't have, and that's okay. That is the innovation function. Innovation, or we can use another word, we say R&D, research and development, to create the new ways of doing things that is better than the old way. Okay, and finally, that is MIS, stand for management of information system. The last function, MIS, is responsible for delivering the right information to the right people at the right time. Okay, and those are the mind map of functions you need to keep in mind. And also, you need to think more a little bit about the components of HRM. We have 3 key components of HRM system within an organization. That is how to direct the behavior of an employee to the right way. Okay, how to create and maintaining the motivation of the employees so that they love to do the job and they really like the job and they try to do, they put the effort on doing job. That is motivation. And last thing, we say HR, we say HR techniques. HR techniques may include, let's say, recruitment, interview, compensations, what else? Interview, recruitment, compensation, training, performance appraisal, etc. And they are technically related to the real things that HR specialists will do in their life and in their job. Remember, if you are a manager, and for sure you will become a manager, most of my students, 90% of them will become a manager. And it doesn't matter how many people they lead, 1 people, 2 people, you will become a manager. And as a manager, marketing manager, finance manager, and whatever kinds of manager, you need to understand and you need to apply the knowledge of these 2 areas into your work. Plus, your techniques, your major knowledge about the areas that you study or you work. And if you are an HR manager, you will need to be master at one of the 3 areas here. Remember, it doesn't matter what kind of manager you are. You need to be able to direct your employees' behavior to the right way. And you need to be able to motivate them to work. It doesn't matter what kind of manager you are. You need to be master at the two areas here. And if you are an HR manager, you will need to be master at all of the three. Okay, that's clear enough. The next point that we need to review, that is the model of behavior. Model of behavior. Yeah, it's related to the first area here, model of behavior, how to direct the employee's behavior to the right way. So we need to answer the question, what really is direct or impact on our human behavior? So he is the he is the model that you need to keep in mind. Perception is the backbone or the foundation of any human behavior, conscientious behavior. And the perception will impact the attitude, and then the attitude impact the behavior. If you want to change your behavior, you need to change your perception first, and then you change your attitude, leading to changing your behavior. And the talents of someone, maybe in human resource, someone's talents, the employee's talent, can be defined in this way. The competence or talent of someone is the ability to demonstrate the right behavior at the right time. And hopefully you still remember what I said at the last time. Right behavior leads to, right behavior, repeating right behaviors lead to your competence or your competencies. And the right behavior start or comes from the right attitude, and the right attitude comes from the right perception. Most of people who have knowledge, who have learned the right perception when they are very young, are more likely to be successful than the people who don't have the chance to learn about the right perception and the right thing to do. Okay. And the things that impact on behavior is the situation. Yes, perception is strongly impacted by situation, or in other words, the same meanings we say the environment. The environment. From the individual side or personal factor, I have problems. We have three key groups that impact the attitude or behavior. So let me clear this one so that, all right, situation or environment. Here we have personality. And today we will go through personality. Personality. Okay. We have what else? Personality. We have competence. Different competence will lead to different attitudes, different perception, and finally, demographic. Sorry. Just okay. Demographic factor, or it should be personality and demographic factor. Let's say different age will have different perception about what happiness is, or just different in gender will lead to different perception about what shopping is. As you know, To the man, shopping is the job to do, and to the woman or to the lady, shopping is the entertainment. Remember, I am talking about the real male, the real lady, and the real gentleman. I don't talk about the middle area, okay? For the real man, to them, shopping is just a job to do, so that they have a plan. They go to the shop center, they take the things that they need, they pay, and then back home, and they go. But for the woman, because the difference in gender, to them, the perception of shopping is to entertain, so that the woman can get into the shopping center without no idea ahead that what we will buy or what I will buy. But I am sure with you, they will buy more than a man buy in any shopping center without any plan ahead. Okay. All right. That is the model of behavior, and also the second key points that we need to keep in mind. The next thing is something not related to the book, but very helpful for you in your real life. And there are some other key points that I want you to keep in mind besides the books and beside the key knowledge in in the course. Remember, those knowledge you may not see them in the, let's say, in the middle exam or in the quiz, but I'm sure that they are very useful and helpful for you if you want to improve your work performance or your life quality. First thing, remember the relationship between satisfaction and time. Okay, do you remember this point? Is satisfaction is time. Customer satisfaction to any products will decrease over time if the product does not change. And your satisfaction, your love, your intention, whatever of emotion to anything, to anyone, will decrease over time if your target does not change. And at the same way, the love of people to you, the satisfaction of people to you, especially the satisfaction of your boss to you when you go to work, will decrease over time if you do not change or improve. Okay, so don't expect that you keep yourself unchanged and people are always satisfied at you. That's wrong. Make your performance improve, change the way you live to make someone around you not boring at you. Okay. Second, performance. Performance is a component of talents. How good someone is in terms of skills, knowledge, and attitudes. Multiply or plus motivation. How much you cry, how much you you put your effort into what you uh into what you work, and let's say how much you are clear about your goals and how long you can try is some example of the motivation. And next is the opportunities. Opportunity in terms of the working place, uh when you are going to work, the opportunities can be considered as the support from your supervisor, the right working conditions, the equipments, money, times, resources that the organization provide you. And remember, this formulation is considered is the golden formulation of performance that you need to keep in mind. Your talent alone is not enough to create performance, especially for long-term performance. And your motivation only is never enough. And if you are put in the right situation with very strong support from the organization, but you have no talents and no motivation, you have no performance, or your performance will be very low. Okay. Next one. Remember, by your eyes, you only can see two things from one person. Do you remember? We never see their personality. We never see their attitudes. We never see their sorrow. No, we never. The only two things that you can see by your eyes from a person. Only two things. That is their appearance. And you remember their behavior. Their behavior. There are only two things that you can see from one person. And most of the time, we judge them, we evaluate them, we talk about their sorrow, their personality, their nature, their competence based on only two things that we see from them. So most of the time, we make the wrong conclusion. Okay? Keep that in mind, because the only two things that you can see from a person is one of the key points that related to the next point we will go through. That is personality. All right, that's all for the quick review for everything that we have covered from the beginning until now. Do you have any questions or any comments before we move to the next part? All right, so quick review done. Now we go to personality. Back to the model of situation. Sorry, the model of behavior is here. The model of behavior. Okay. Now we start as investigating personality here. And then we move to understand perception. And then we learn about attitude. We learn about some kind of behavior. And so that we complete the first half of the semester and take the midterm exam. Okay. Oh, one more thing. Just let you think more, make you understand the lecture more. BAB. BAB. Perception, attitude, behavior. That is the right sequence that the scientists always advise people to act, to behave. Perception, first you need to build the right perception, and then you move to the right attitude and initiate or to have the right behavior. It's simple. If you want to put this formulation into your life, think about that. PAB is equivalent to think and then feel and then do. If you follow this sequence most of the time in your life, you can avoid a problem. And you know, the disaster or the bad thing is that most of the time we behave in the reverse way. We do first and then we feel and we think finally. There's nothing for you to think after you do, and then you feel and you think, wow, I wish that I never do that before. Oh no. Think, feel, do is the right sequence. But most of the time we do first, feel later, and then we think. And that is the reason why we get most trouble in our life. Okay. Is that understandable? Okay, now we move to personality. And before we move to personality, there is one more thing that I need to make clear with you. That is, we will use the PowerPoint slide just for this chapter and perception chapter. I use the PowerPoint slide of the previous edition because the PowerPoint slide is much better compared with the current one in terms of understanding the subject. So going to your blackboard right now. You see my screen? That is the blackboard. I just post the personality PowerPoint slide there, and you may download and use this PowerPoint slide during my lecture about personality. All right, can you see my screen and see the personality? Tell me if you have any problem with downloading the material. All right, I will give you, let's say, 2 or 3 minutes to download the personality chapter. Sorry, personality PowerPoint before I start the video clip lecture about personality. Okay. All right, now we are going to start the lecture about personality, and let me know if you have any problem with the sound and the quality or the quality of the internet connection during the lecture about personality. Okay. The key point of today's class. And one of the 2 topics for your midterm exam is related to personality. Is related to your personality. And in the section of personality, what we will go through first, we go through the concept what personality is. All right, the sound is good and the screen is clear enough for you. Everything is good. Thank you, thank you. All right, continue. All right, now look at the slide a little bit. What is personality? Here is the definition on the screen. Okay, personality is a dynamic concept describing the roles and the development of a person's whole psychological system. Oh my God, you know, the first time when I learned this concept, I didn't understand anything. And I don't ask you, the non-psychology student, to understand the so complicated concept like this. We just go to a more simple question. What help us recognize or know the personality of someone? Because we learn about personality just because we want to know how we can measure our personality, ourselves, myself personality, yourself personality, and how we can recognize or to understand someone's personality. And now, remember this framework. Yes. Okay, good, thank you. All right. We have perception, impact, attitude, and impact behavior. Actually, appearance, what you wear, what you have, still results of behavior. Perception impact attitudes, attitude impact behavior. What impact perception is situation or environment. Under individual, we have personality, right? We have personality. And the other two by competencies and demographic, we don't care about them this time. Now look at this model. The only thing that you can see in this model, the only thing you can see from someone is behavior. You only can see my behavior. At this time, you only can see my writing. When you look at your friends, beside their appearance, their clothes, their size, their eyes, their hair, you only can see their behavior. That means the signal, the information that you have in hand to recognize the personality of someone is the behavior. And look at this, from the behavior, you need to go back to know that, to predict, to forecast their attitude. From their attitude, you need to go back to predict their perception. And from their perception, you can go back to predict their personality. At the same time, you need to isolate the impact of the situational factor to make sure that you describe someone's personality in the right way. It's a long journey, right? A long way. And with the trips like from here to here, from here to here, and from here to here, what is the conclusion? From someone's behavior, go back to know someone's personality is very, very long journey, very long trip, and you need to take very long time to observe to get the right conclusion about someone's personality. But usually we don't have enough time like that. We look at people one time, we look at their behavior one time. This morning, they come to the class late and you say, oh, he's a lazy person. Just one time coming lazy, become a lazy person? No. Let me tell you this. When I see one of my students coming late into my class, what is my conclusion? My conclusion is today he or she came late. That's all. Nothing else. I cannot conclude that is a good, smart, lazy, or the determinant student. I don't know. I just said, and I only can say that this student came to my class late today. And if the student keep coming late for the whole semester, what can I say? This student came late to my class for the whole semester. I don't know whether or not that is a good or bad student. I care about the exam results. Why I talk so much about this? Just to make you aware that predicting someone's personality is very difficult. And most of the time, 90% of the time when we make conclusion about someone's personality, we make the wrong conclusion. We make the wrong description. We make the wrong conclusion about their personality. But you strongly believe that you are able to tell someone's personality just by observing their behavior at one time. Okay, now I give you another concept that is easier to understand personality. The scientist says that personality is the sum the sum total of ways in which an individual reacts and interacts with each other. All right, the way you react, that is your behavior. You react to the situation. Interacts, that means you communicate, you work, you say, you speak with other people. Reacts or interacts, all of them are behavior. Whatever you do, all of them together create your personality. Oh my God, I only can know your personality at the end of your life, because that is the sum of all of the behaviors you demonstrate during your life. And we don't need, do we need to wait, or do we want to wait until the end of our life, or someone like to say, this is your personality? Just think about the situation. You come to see someone very old, almost approaching the last minute of their life, and you say, oh, until now I know your personality. Oh, that's not a good situation. All right. Now, during, during your life, or during a period, you demonstrate a lot of behavior. And actually, not all of the behaviors will be recorded. Not all of your behaviors will be recorded to calculate your personality. Those following behaviors will be counted to predict your personality. What kind of behavior? Your stable, repeated behavior. Those behavior will be counted, should be counted to calculate. I use the word calculate to make it simple. To calculate, to describe your personality or someone's personality. And not only one stable repeated behaviors, but many stable repeated behavior. So that I give you, let's see, I give you another definition that's more simple to understand. Personality is the set, the collection of stable trends of behavior that you demonstrate during a period of time, in 1 year, 2 years, many years. For example, I just assuming that I have enough time, let's say 3 years, to observe, to watch the behavior of some of you. And I recognize that during 3 years, I see that that person loves to go out and to meet people, love to talk, to communicate with other people, don't like to stay at home, love to, that person loves to prove his or her value to other people, very active, sometimes aggressive. And those trends of behavior are stable during 3 years. I have enough evidence to say, part of, remember, just part, not full, part of his personality is extrovert. Only a part of his personality is extrovert. And also during 3 years working with that person, the same person, I recognize that he is easy to lose the control of emotion. He is easy to get angry with people. He is easy to get into argument with other people. and get hot, lose temperature, lose control in many situations during 3 years. That trend of losing control is stable. I can say something more. A part of this one's personality is low emotional stability. So combining, I can say his personality is high in extroverts and low in emotion stability. After 3 years working with him, observing him, and recognizing the stable trends of behaviors, we need time if we want to by ourselves recognize someone's personality. And believe me, if you based on one-time behavior to make conclusion about someone's personality, 99% you get the wrong description, the wrong conclusion. And just for something else beside the lecture, I just want to share with you two things. Usually I tell my students that humans have two basic passions. And I use the word passion here with a negative meaning. The first passion is to judge others. And the second passion is to prove self correct. Myself. In Vietnamese, just let me say in Vietnamese, it's easier to understand. Con người chúng ta có hai cái đam mê mà mình không nên có. We have two passions that we should not have. Đam mê thứ nhất, first, đánh giá người khác. Judging others. Just one person go around you, appear in your eyes. You usually make conclusion about him or her, even you don't need to do so. Đam mê thứ nhất, đánh giá người khác. Đam mê thứ hai, chứng minh mình đúng, ngay cả khi không cần thiết. We are easy to get into the argument to say, oh, my point of view is correct, yours is not. Many times in our life, we try to do so. Remember, your energy and your resources are limited. Our lifetime is limited. Our money is limited. Our energy is limited. And if you invest your energy or your resources into the passion that you should not have, you don't have enough resources. You don't have enough time, money, energy for all the things that you have to do. And making the conclusion about someone's personality is an example of just other people when you don't need. All right? Don't try to predict someone's personality based on their one-time behavior. You only can make prediction or conclusion about someone's personality when you have time to stay with them long enough to recognize the stable trends of their behavior. Okay, that is the concept of personality and what I want you to keep in mind. All right, just check the situations. So far, so good. Is that any problem? You still can hear the video clear and see the screen clearly. Is that correct? All right. If there is no problem, just continue with the lecture on personality, okay? The next question is, so what makes personality? Or what creates personality? For sure, personality is important. We will talk about it later. But what causes personality? Is personality inborn? Inborn. Bẩm sinh. Is personality inborn? Heredity? Di truyền. Or personality is a product of environment? In the past, you know, there were strong debates, there were big arguments among the scientists, among the philosophies among the scientists. Someone say, many say, oh, personality is inborn. When you were born, the personality is created and does not change over your life. Another school of theories, another groups of scientists, not smaller than the first one, the same side, say, no, your personality is created by the environment, and you develop your personality during your life, and your personality can change. Who was correct? Let me tell you, the combination of the two may be the best answer. Personality is the product of the combination of two factors. Personality is the product of a combination of heredity, yếu tố di truyền, and environment. Combining them together, impacting personality. Your personality is redefined at some degree when you were born. But during the time you live and you develop in your life, personality can be reconfirmed or can change. Can be reconfirmed or can change to another type of personality, or can become stronger or become weaker. So when you were born, you have some kind of personality, but you may change that, or you may reconfirm that during your life, during your development, and depending on the situation, the environment you experience over your life. Okay? Or we can say in Vietnamese like this. Personality in Vietnamese we say tính cách. Not nhân cách. Personality in Vietnamese we say tính cách, và được định nghĩa như thế này. Nó là những cái tổng hợp những xu hướng hành vi ổn định mà một cá nhân thể hiện. The collection of a stable branch of behavior that one demonstrates. Personality is redefined when you were born. Tính cách nó thành lúc bạn sinh ra ở một mức độ nhất định, at some degree, but can be reconfirmed, và có thể được khẳng định hoặc là được xây dựng dựa trên cái nền móng đó, or can be changed, hoặc nó có thể thay đổi depending on the situation, the environment, and depending on yourself when you develop during your life. Okay. Now, how we recognize the personality of someone, or how one can recognize the personality of his or him or herself. The scientists offer or help us a better ways to understand personality of ourselves. That is using the surveys to measure our personalities. And the survey asks us to describe and to confirm the way we behave in our life. And then they sum up all of the ways that you behave to define the stable trends of your behavior, and then make conclusion about your personality. So the scientists use surveys, design the surveys to ask you about your repeating behavior, stable trends of behavior, and then they can tell your personality. So we cannot see someone's personality, okay? But we can make conclusion about personality based on stable trends of behavior. And stable trends of behavior, in simple words, we can say that is repeating behaviors across situations. Những hành vi được lặp lại ở những hoàn cảnh khác nhau. At any situation, we demonstrate the same behavior, we repeat the same behavior. So can we give me a more simple word for personality? What is repeating behaviors? When you repeat your behaviors many times, it's become what? Type in the chat box. Let me see it. A behavior repeating many times called? No. Results is the consequence of behavior. Yes. You repeat your behavior many times to become a habit. And personality is nothing more than the collection of your habits. Right? So from now, if you want to talk about someone's personality, it's better than we talk about their habits. And you know why we should do so? Because when we tell someone your habit is, we mean you can change. But when you say your personality is, usually we mean that it fits. You cannot change it anymore. All right. So personality in our life, in the real world, is nothing more than the collection of habits. And the foundation, the base of habits is behavior, right? It's behavior. Because habit is the repeating behaviors. And you can change your behavior if you change your perception and you change your attitude. So personality, collection of habits, and we can change that. Okay, good. Thank you. Very quickly, you recognize that personality is nothing more than habit. But remember, habits is important to your performance. If you can train yourself with many good habits, waking up early, doing exercise, turning excitement on time, always say thanks to people who do good things for you, say sorry when you do something bad, or think about things to do before you go to sleep, and things before things you have done. All of them are good habits, are habits. And if you train yourself a bad habit, your life will go into the negative side. Your life depends on your behavior. More than that, depend on your good habit. Depend on the good habits that you can train yourself. And the collection of the habits creates your personality in others' eyes. Tập hợp các thói quen của bạn sẽ tạo nên tính cách của bạn trong mắt người khác. And even for yourself. All right. Now, using the surveys, the scientists found that the personality of person, human personality, can be described in different types. And I will introduce two very common types of personalities, that frameworks that we usually see in our life. That is MBTI and Big Five. MBTI and Big Five. Where is all right? Big Five MBTI. All right. Okay. Big MBTI is the abbreviation of Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. And they have 4 dimensions. E or I, you are when you answer the question or the surveys, the questionnaires created by MBTI scientists, The first set of questions will try to identify whether or not you are extroverted or introverted, or you are sensing or intuitive, you are thinking or feeling type person, you are perceiving or you are judging people. And then they combine the 4 dimensions together, and it creates the four characters forming your types of personality. For example, INTJs, ESTJs, ENTPs. I will upload it documents talking about MBTI type of personalities to help you have more knowledge about it. But before that, read by yourself the description of MBTI. Read by yourself the MBTI frameworks and description by yourself in the book. It's helped you a lot to understand MBTI and try to identify who you are. According to MBTI framework, we have 16 different types of personality. For example, ESTP, EIFJ, ESLP, for example, right? We have 16 different types, and every type of personality in the framework of MBTI has some special characteristic that other types don't have. All right, read by yourself the description of MBTI and try to identify what group you belong to. And remember, the research showed that MBTI is good to describe the personality of people in life. But it's very strange that the relationship between the MBTI types of personality and work performance is not significant. That means whatever kind of personality you have in terms of MBTI, your work performance is not different. Your work performance is not impacted by the type of your personality under MBTI. Okay? But MBTI is a very, very interesting framework to understand personality in psychology and in life. In contrast, Big Five model, another framework of personality, is a very strongly framework that is a strong framework that is related to work performance. The scientists found that these dimensions within the Big Five, the word that I am scared most of reading is conscientiousness. Conscientiousness. Yeah, grant myself the habit of reading this word, conscientiousness. This dimension is strongly related to work performance. People who are high in this dimension usually have high work performance. And the Big Five model describes people not on a single dimension. For example, for extroversion, oh my gosh, my bad. For extroversion, you have low and high and maybe the middle. For agreeableness, you still have low and high. For this one, you have low and high. For this one, you have low and high. All right. One's personality, my personality, your personality will be different, but under Big Five framework, one's personality will be the combination of the 5 dimensions at different level. For example, my personality is middle high in extraversion, middle in agreeableness, very high in conscientiousness, middle in emotional stability, and middle in this. For example, just example, and we say my personality is the combination of the 5 dimensions like this, not a single dimension. Okay, and combining together, you have the picture of your personality under the big 5 model. The key differences between MBTI and big 5 model is that MBTI has more types of personality, but not very strongly related, or even we can say no relationship with work performance. Big 5 model have only 5 dimensions, but strongly related to work performance. And either you follow the big 5 or MBTI, that is just a description of collection of your habits, how you work or how you do things. Personality is nothing very big or very important as we usually think about at work. And personality is not the way we judge people. Okay? And now, coming back a little bit. In science, and only in science, we have 16 of MBTI and 5 dimensions. 5 dimensions of big 5. Among them, there is no type of personality, say lazy, intelligence, or reliable. No. We have no word saying about personalities. That is the qualification. So let's go back to the frameworks that, sorry, let's go back to my notes. So what I want you to do, if you want to prepare for the topics related to personality, take the MBTI test or Big 5 or both. It depends on yourself. Just go to Google and type the keyword MBTI test free or Big 5 test free and take the test to prepare for the topic of personality, because personality will be one of the 2 topics that you can select for your midterm exam. And if you select the topic related to personality, I will ask you to take the test, either MBTI or Big 5. So do it in advance when you have time. It will take you only about 45 minutes to answer the questions. And then they will send you the results by the emails or message to your phone number, the results. What kind of personality under MBTI or Big 5 you are. Okay? If you want to work on the assignment on personality. Now, talk a little bit about why we need to learn about personalities. Just return to what I told you before. The simple word we should use instead of personality is type in the chat box. Cái từ đơn giản hơn mà chúng ta nên sử dụng thay cho từ tính cách. We just talk about that last time. Type in the chat box. What is that? What is the repeating behavior? Yes, I see. That is the habit. Thank you. And at the working place, your repeating behavior at work is the way you work. And scientists show that types of personality fit to a specific type of works. For example, extrovert people fit to the work require communication, require external communication, require the travel, require the presentation or debating argument among many people, fit to the sales careers, fit to teaching career. In the contrast, introvert people are compatible with the detailed work, the work related to the art, the creativity, because introvert people love to stay alone and love to think in detail. And especially introvert people is good at conceptual thinking. So that if we can recognize someone's personality correctly, we can assign the job that fit to his or her competence. Each type of personality will be more competitive, will be more competent in some area. Mỗi một tính cách khác nhau sẽ có ưu thế ở những công việc khác nhau. Different types of personality have different advantages in different jobs. If we know someone's personality, we can assign a job that fit to his or her ability. So that improves job performance. Okay. However, that is not always the case. You agree that? That is not always the case. You cannot, and I'm sure that you cannot arrange the job that fit to your employees on time. So, if you have to assign the job that does not fit to someone's personality, you know the drawback, you know the negative side, you know the disadvantages, so that you have the backup plans and you know how to help him or her to be successful in the job that's not very fit to his or her personality. You know how to help someone in case that we need to assign a job that does not fit to his or her personality. That's it. That is about personality. And the importance of personality is just like nothing else. And what I want you to keep in mind when you study this, when you learn this chapter, is that not easy to recognize someone's personality just by observing their behaviors, especially one-time behavior. 99% gives you wrong information about someone's personality. And the most important thing here, the key point here is that the irony thing is that we love to make conclusion about someone's personality just by observing one-time behavior. Hành vi chúng ta quan sát một lần duy nhất thường cho chúng ta thông tin rất sai lầm để kết luận về tính cách của một người. Những cái điều nguy hiểm và mỉa mai nhất là chúng ta có xu hướng và chúng ta rất yêu thích cái việc đưa ra kết luận về tính cách của một người thông qua quan sát duy nhất một lần hành vi của họ. Hopefully, we can avoid this mistake. Or, hopefully, after this class, after today, you can reduce the two negative passions. Don't make conclusion about the others if you don't need to. And don't try to prove that you are correct when you don't need to. Just save time to enjoy your life. How people are, ignore them. Ra sao kệ họ. If they are not related to our life. Take time to improve ourselves rather than take time to predict what kind of personality you are, I am, who is. No, we don't need to do so. Okay. Now, the last point. What you should take notes, or another word we say, caution. Cẩn thận. The following point you should keep in mind when you think about personality. First, personality can change over your life. Personality can change over your life. So today you see that I have the collection of those habits. Maybe 3 years later, you don't see those habits at me anymore. Human can change, can learn and can change. Don't expect that they stay the same over time. We can expect that they become better over time, but don't expect that they stay bad over time. Okay? Second, even you take the test, to take the surveys for your personality test, the survey maximum around 60 to 80% correct. That means the test is not very exact in terms of describing your personality. Take the test, it's just the result of the test, it's just the part of the information that we should use to make conclusion about our personality. All right, next point. Personality is only a description of one personality is only the description of one habits. So that personality is totally different. It's totally different. It's totally never the same with, oh my God, sorry. I don't have enough. Never the same with qualifications. In Vietnamese mean phẩm chất, giá trị của một con người. Personalities is never the same. It's never the qualification. It's always different qualifications. Personality is nothing related to qualifications. Reliable, lazy, intelligent, what to say, hardworking, nothing related to personality. Personality is totally different from qualification. Tính cách hoàn toàn là một khái niệm khác với phẩm chất. Do đó không thể dùng tính cách để kết luận về phẩm chất của một người. Phẩm chất ở đây là gì? Kiên định, đáng tin cậy, siêng năng, lười biếng, lừa dối, whatever. They are not personality. They are qualifications. And qualification is the product of situation, personality, and many things else combined together, more than 1,000 things to create qualification of someone. So keep in mind, qualifications is totally different from personality. Don't make conclusion about someone's qualification based on your knowledge about their personality. Okay? And finally, let me write it here. I don't have enough space. All right. The impact of personality on our success or our loss, our failure in life is significant, but not huge as we think. At the beginning, your personality may have some impact on what you do, but your perception is much more important to regulate your behavior and then lead to your success or your loss. So that personality impact on our success or life or loss in our life is significant. That means that is really we really have that impact, but not huge, not big as we think. Cái tác động của tính cách đến cái sự thành công hay thất bại của một con người là có, but nó không lớn, không vĩ đại như chúng ta thường nghĩ vậy. And it's not a key factor that decide our success or failures. Tính cách không phải là một yếu tố quyết định đến sự thành công hay thất bại của một con người, nhưng nó có đóng góp, nó có góp phần vào cái kết quả đó. Alright, that's all for the personality. That's all for personalities. And what you need to do by yourself, that is read the description of MBTI and Big Five in the book by yourself. I don't have enough time. All right, so that's all about personality. And if you have time, I encourage you to go through the description of the MBTI or Big Five types, and you can identify by yourself which kind of personality that fit to you most. And remember, personality is not fixed, and your personality today is not likely or is not necessary to become your personality for the whole life. And knowing your personality just to know your habit right now, and that is the base for you maybe to reconfirm the positive habits and maybe to change the negative habit or let's say not very effective habits, and you can improve when you know your personality. But if you don't have time or you don't like to know about your personality, that's okay. Life is a journey, and knowing ourselves so much maybe not a good way to contribute to the life quality. It depends on your choice. Okay. Now, what we are going to do next is to go through the questions that we may see them again in the midterm exam and in the quiz. Go to your blackboard again. Okay, let's see. Blackboard, where is that? Yeah. All right, go to content, go to the content, and you will see the first review here, and we have 30 questions in the form of multiple choices. So download that and take around 20 minutes. Okay, you will have 20 minutes to work on this, and I will post the answer on Blackboard at 10, and you can check by yourself. Okay, so take 20 minutes to go through the review questions and tell me if you have any problem with downloading or some problem to understand the questions. Okay, I will post the answer, the answer key on the Blackboard at 10. All right, so you are clear about what to do right now. Type something in the chat box so that I know that every of you still here. Okay, good. So download the questions, work on that, and back to the Blackboard to check the answer keys at 10. All right. So I will see you again at 10. Work by yourself until 10. Hello everyone, I am back. Now, you can see on the blackboard I have posted the first review wiki for you. Download this file by yourself and compare with your work to see how many questions you have correct on the first practice. And after that, you have another set of questions with the personality review, which contain up 30 questions, and you may see some of them again in the midterm exam and in the quiz. But however, you have a chance to look at them and you don't need to work on that right now. I will post the answer key for the personality review by tomorrow morning. So you have time to work on that from now until that time to compare your work and the answer to see how effective you work on that. Now, there is one more thing that I want to remind you before you go. Hopefully, next week we will return to normal class, the offline class on March the 9th. And then on the March the 16th, we will have the first quiz on March the 16th. Please take notes, take notes on your calendar. We will have quiz on March the 16th, the first quiz. And the second quiz will be on March the 30th. Okay, 2 weeks later. So we will have the first quiz 2 weeks from now. And the second quiz will be at the end of March, March the 30th. Okay. All right. That's all for today. And you are free to go. For the people, for the student who take the online class for the business ethics, there will be no class today as I need to see the doctor at 10:45. All right, so that's all for today. Yes, we need to go through from chapter 1 to chapter 8 before we take the midterm exam. But the percentage of the chapter we cover will be different. The second quiz March the 30th, 2 weeks after the first quiz. The quiz will cover all of the content that we learned from the beginning until the days that we take the quiz. All right, any other questions that you may have for me before you go? Oh, the next class of business ethics, we will have no class today because I need to see the doctor. So you have a class of today, but we will see each other by next week for the offline class. Okay. All right, just tell your friend about that. Help me to spread the information. Okay, for the people who don't have any questions, how long will the quiz take? It's around 40 or 60 questions and it take around 45 minutes. All right, if you have questions, just ask me or type in the chat box. For the student who don't have a question, you are free to go, and wish you all a very nice day. And strongly wait to see you on for the offline class. I'm very boring at the online class until now. Remember, take time to work on the personality review question, okay? Oh, yes, for sure. Oh, I forgot to upload the first one. All right, let me upload both of them by tomorrow. By tomorrow, let's say tomorrow noon, okay? I forgot about that. Sorry on. Uh, I will review the mini test, the quiz in class, direct face to face. Thanks on YouTube. The quiz is multiple choices questions, and that is the closed quiz. You're welcome. All right, if you have no more questions, we can stop the class right now. And you all have a nice day. Strongly wait to see you in class. No more online class. Hope so. All right, goodbye. See ya later.